Welcome back, people. This is Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast. I'm your boy, Mr. Prez, and with me always,
it's your boy Kash, aka Exec P, aka Cash Flow. What's going on, good people, man? This is a bonus or is 169, Prez? I don't know.
This
I don't know
this
where we
is
at.
169.
Officially
man. You
169.
get lost in the work, all the work we put in extra, man. But this is 169. Cash, for the people who just stumbled across us, finding us for the first time, even though we got, like you said, 169 episodes out there. This may be their first time coming across us. Can you please let them know who we are and what we do?
I don't know why this is the first time we the who's who. So one of the dopest podcasts out there. So Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast. We drop every Tuesday at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But to answer your question, Prez, what we about is music, sports, entertainment, and culture each and every week. You can get that. We have artists on from all walks of nature. Some are bigger, some smaller, and whatever. If it's dope music, we want to interview you and we'll have you on. We have countless dope artists that have been on. So y'all go check those out. But also we do the sports thing each and every week. It's barbershop banter. We don't keep up with all the stats and everything like that. It's just how we feel. We just talking noise unless I have to prove Prez wrong. You know what I mean? So those are times when I have to bring up stats. But, you know, that's what we talk about each and every week. Culture, things that happen in politics. We stay away from that. But sometimes, you know, sports, music, and politics, you know, intertwine and we speak on those things from time to time. We also have entrepreneurs on as well. And we're going to start that up. And then we do bonus episodes on Patreon where we talk about books on leadership and things like that. You know, we're not all over the place, but where we hang our hat is music and sports. So with that said, man, that's a little bit about Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast.
Cash, and 169 episodes. Last week's episode, if you missed that, we did our mid-year review, did our top 10 albums of the year. Go check that out if you want to know where we're thinking, how we feeling about the music that didn't drop this year. But on this episode, what are the people in store for?
Man, we got a long awaited guest on here. Ever since he dropped Legacy Loading way back when, but Prez, you know what I got to do, man. I always got to talk about how I came across the artist. So randomly, I'm on hip hop Twitter and I'm just going through, scrolling through. And, you know, every now and then, Prez, we'll have a point in which you'll see like some comments or a video and it's a random artist. And often at times you're like, nah, I'm going to curve it. You know what I mean? I'm not about to listen to this. But sometimes you listen and you find like it feels like you struck gold, man. It feels like you struck gold. So that's exactly what happened when we came across our artist that's coming on the podcast today, Lacey Jackson, man. And then the song that I heard when it was Legacy Loading time, once I went to the album, I did much like you did, Prez, one time. Remember how you listen to albums on shuffle randomly? Yeah. I did that by on accident. But this was a good thing because the whole album's dope. But the first song I went to was Jay Wood off of Legacy Loading, man. And that song, that spoke to me, and it was just great hooks, great lyrics, everything. All we talk about, the embodiment of an artist, you know what I mean? Just having a production, having the lyrics, having the hooks, being a full rapper, so to speak. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome to the couch for the first time, Lacey Jackson.
Hey, appreciate y'all having me, bro.
No doubt, man. No doubt. How you feeling, man? How's it going?
It's going great, man. Appreciate the introduction.
Hey, no doubt.
You know, I've did a couple interviews. I've never really known how people have heard my music the first time, so that's fire to hear that.
Yeah. That's exactly how it happened, man. And just, of course, word of mouth. Once you know, hey, have you heard of him? Oh yeah, I've been onto his music, or yeah, I checked him out. I found him. Like a lot of people have found your music the same exact way, ironically. And we all, you know, our man Nums, he talked about it. He found your music the same way on Twitter. And then check out the album. Okay. And now, you know, every time you drop, we talking about it as far as the beats and breaking it down from a nerd level on what you did right and all that. So that's pretty much how everybody found the music. I pitched it to Prez and, you know, often
that's what he really wanted to get out. Yeah. You know, he put me on.
I put him on. So that's how that goes, you know, but that's how we do, man. Even if we didn't have a podcast, you know, sometimes we stomp the floor, like pound the table, whatever you want to use, and say, yo, no. Before the day ends, listen to this and then get back to me. You know what I mean? Give me immediate feedback on what you like. So we definitely did that with Legacy Loaded, and now it's kind of, it's automatic. Add and listen and ride out to it. So that's how we came across it, man.
Dope, man. I feel like some of my dogs would be mad if I don't correct you, but it's Forever Loading.
I put Legacy Loaded, man. I don't know.
I'm over here thinking like, yo, Legacy Loading would have been fire.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm thinking Legacy Loading. It's Forever Loading. I'm tripping, man. I got ahead of myself. But yeah, man, but that's how we came across, man. But for the people that haven't heard your music, we want to play one of the songs off the project before we even get into the interview portion. So we'll play Acting Like It. That's the title track, not the title track, but the lead off track to the project.
Bet.
No complaining about this shit. Yesterday's grind was as easy as it gets. Thought the goal was getting rich. So why you acting like it? Used to say I want it, I ain't really want it. For 120 pounds, but I kept it 100. Till you take a risk, you ain't never stunning. Take a lot of game, but I ain't never punting. As long as Lacey got the work, you forever fronting. We cooking up heat that they can't police. These niggas say they want some peace, I just want a piece. But can somebody make a chain of dogs off the leash? Talking so damn rich that so is my niece. Talking flow so cold, the merch is a fleece. Talking sold out shows from west to the east. This a sharp ass nigga, uncle with the crease. Get that shit, you gotta work for it. You ain't got it yet, boy, you gotta search for it. I want my vision like you spitting in the dirt for it. I want it so bad, nigga, I would hurt for it. Cause I was hurt for it, yeah. No complain about this shit, nigga. Yesterday's grind was as easy as it gets, nigga. Thought the goal was getting rich with us. So why y'all acting like so?
Yeah, so that's Acting Like It, man. So strong intro. Prez, tell them a little bit about the intro, man. Tell them a little bit about the intro, how we feel about that.
Man, so as one of the things that we have, starting off anything, man, the intro has to grab you immediately. It got to be that one that captures, because you don't know who coming to you. That's how we start off the show like this. We got to explain to everybody, what we're about and what we do. You know what I mean? That's got to be quickly dissectable at the beginning of any album that you put out. And you never know when somebody's coming to your music. So you can't just open up and just go on this long tirade. You got to open everybody up to you and bring them where you from. So I think that was a great opening, easily digestible song on your delivery and everything on that. So yeah. We hammer home the intros, and when we go to anytime we're talking about classic albums or anything like this, I mean, that is where it has to. It has to hit at home for you at that intro. You can't just halfway do it, or do like a kind of a skit type intro completely. Mm-hmm. You got to have something that's going to grab them off the jump. So
that's dope, man. I'm glad it grabbed y'all, man. Personally, I agree. I wanted it to be something, especially as an independent artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm posting in the comments, and a lot of times the link I'm going to drop is to the album. And so if people click on that first song and it's not something that they at least, makes them more interested, then, you know what I'm saying? And this, especially in this culture, they off of it quick. So
I appreciate that. We know that. We know that.
Nobody's no longer going to buy one CD and going to play it all the way through. We got the DSPs. We can jump to another song. If you can grab my attention, right. I grab your two songs and put it over here and just be on to the next thing. So, but before we get too far into it, Lacey, we're going to let you properly introduce yourself and tell the people where you're from, how long you've been rapping and so on. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. My name is Lacey Jackson. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. Man, I started rapping. I think I wrote my first rap in my freshman year in high school. You know what I'm saying? This is fresh off of watching the J Mills versus Murder Mook battle. Oof. And so I think my first rap was just a Murder Mook imitation. You know what I mean? I just was such a huge fan of it. My first introduction to really like recording music was in high school, or like, you know how you got those like technology classes? We had built like a little makeshift studio, had no idea what we was doing in there. And I don't even think at the time I was like the cool rapper kid in the class. It was like, it was one of the other homies. But that was my first introduction to like being in that type of atmosphere. And then, I didn't really start making actual songs until I got to college. My first project was called The Perfect Resume. And it was just one of my dogs just, flipping our refund checks to try to put a little makeshift studio together. And then, that was a project that basically made me realize like, oh, I can rap. It was terrible, but it was like, oh, okay, like you can rap. You know what I'm saying? This is something you can invest some time and energy into. You know what I'm saying? So that's really where everything started. Was that project. And, this is around the time when Machine Gun Kelly was blowing up here in Cleveland, in the Cleveland area. And so that was super inspirational. Some of my early inspirations from a rap perspective was probably like I said, Murder Mook, Cassidy. I used to think Cassidy was the greatest rapper of all time. You know what I'm saying? I was tripping. But you know what I mean? That was one of my favorites at the time.
So you said you listened at that Murder Mook and Meek. Have you ever listened at that series by it's called Knowledge? He does like does like some little lo-fi beats and have like all the Meek Mills like freestyles and everything. It goes in there. He got like 4 or 5 little volumes of it. I told Kash about it a couple times. He never like when it delved into it, but I love those just to hear the whole freestyles over like actual beats. It's good.
Word, nah.
Yeah.
So it's a Meek Mills. You said Meek Mills?
Meek Mill. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've never heard that, but I know Meek be going crazy, so I would like to check that out, man.
Yeah, it's hungry Meek from battle days on the streets of Philly. Meek over like soulful lo-fi beats, so it's kind of ill. I did listen, Prez. I just ain't really talk about it. But yeah, man. So often at times, man, I often want to know what's your why. For rapping, because I know it takes a lot of time and energy and investment and time away from people that you love, your wife and your 2 kids that you mentioned a lot on your project. So what is your why for doing what you do?
The why changes, but I know, so there was a period of time where I stopped rapping because I was trying to figure out like what contribution I could really bring to this, because some of my favorite rappers are, you know what I'm saying, it's, I respect not only the music, I respect the swag, the energy, the impact that people have on culture. And so for me, being a little bit more introverted, a little bit more kind of just, I just kind of roll solo and do my own thing. I created Loading as this opportunity to just rap about literally what I'm doing every day. So, I always say like living life and rapping about every step. So, the overall idea behind why I make music is just to document, what's going on in my life. Now, every individual song changes because like a lot of times it's like, I live some type of life experience and then end up making a song about it. And so, my main why is just really just about my life, man. Like being a normal dude. I know, I hang out with a lot of cats. It's just Black fathers and, college students and, it's just, it's very regular, but at the same time, it's extremely dope. And so, that's my why is just to show people, like kind of a different, it's still about being cool, because I feel like
you got to make the dad shit like, cool. Yeah, for sure.
You can't be like, it still has to. I think it still has to be delivered in a way that people want to consume it and want to understand it and look up to it. And I think it's something to look up to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like we're trying to, you know, it's not like I'm rapping about stuff that people not really actually out here living. You know what I'm saying? So it's my main why is literally just what's going on in my life, you know, at any given moment. A lot of times a song is after a conversation, you know what I'm saying, on the phone or something like that. So that's the main reason.
Do you think that you being so personable, because I'll say from a listener standpoint, that's really what the type of rap, like I like the street shit. I like the bravado from different rappers when they just talking fly talk, you know what I mean? And it ain't about nothing else but just the vibe. But I think the artists that stand the test of time are the artists that speak on everyday issues, speak on a regular man's issues, and could always relate, you know, to the people that they service for the most part, because everybody's not a millionaire, thousandaire, whatever you want to call it, and doing well. And I think you highlight that pretty well on all of your projects, particularly, you know, when you talk about, you know, your mom and your brother, man. So I kind of want to go there with it in terms of you really opening up and letting us in on, you know, just how much your brother and mom affected your life. I mean, if you want to dive into that, you know, because they're a highlight throughout your projects. You mentioned them several times and random verses. So if you want to highlight them for a little bit on how they kind of give you the inspiration to do what you do.
Yeah. So, like, you know, in regards to my mom, man, you know, it's crazy. It's like I really didn't have a great personal relationship with my mom before she passed away when I think I was like 11 years old, 12 years old. But my mom, man, like, you know, now being an adult, having 2 kids, looking back, I can just see so much character and just good quality that she, you know, developed in us while she was here with us. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always looking back on it because I don't know, just there's a lot of stuff. You know, my mom was, you know, before she passed away, you know, she was battling with issues with, you know, her heart, and you know, she had battled some mental health issues early, you know, before, like when I was like super young. Those are things that I ended up, you know, having the mental health specifically I talk about on 2010, where, you know, that summer, you know, I actually tried to commit suicide, but I overdosed on some pills. And, you know, part of it was connected to, I think, this gap that happened from just not having my mom around. And that's really what I wanted to kind of highlight. And when I say bro, you know, my dad had 5 boys. They adopted 2. I got a lot of bros, you know what I'm saying? And then not only just my blood brothers, I'm surrounded by some solid dudes that really, you know what I'm saying, just have really held me accountable and helped me grow. And so I'm always showing love to my brothers in general, you know what I'm saying? Just for helping me really just develop the mindset that was able to get past some of that stuff that I was dealing with. And so that's why I was showing her. That's why it was a very personal song on 2010, because it was just like, you know, looking back on it, you know, we 12 years in the future now, and it's just like, I can't even imagine the mindset that I was in at a point where I wanted to like end my life. And now my life is so beautiful and I'm so blessed. And, you know, I just thank God that, you know, my attempt failed. You know what I'm saying? So I try not to really talk about this because, you know, I made the overdose. My first like official project was the overdose.
Yeah, I saw that.
Where I really like dived into it. But I've been in such a space that I've kind of disconnected with that reality as far as like how I identify with it so much. But, you know, on this album, I just wanted to take one song to at least acknowledge, you know what I'm saying, that moment of my life so that people can realize that, you know, what's going on. Especially it's like the music and the stuff continues to grow. And I feel like I'm getting a lot of different opportunities and stuff now with the music. I just want people to realize, like, you know, none of this could have happened if, you know what I'm saying, if the worst case scenario would have played out that way. So, you know, it's all a blessing. But shout out to my brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shout out to my dogs, man. My brother EJ, Kevon, Jeremiah, Sabian. You know what I'm saying? My dogs Dio, my brother Mark, Buzz, Clean, man. I'm surrounded by a lot of outstanding individuals, man, that have figured this stuff out. So that's why I'm always talking about them.
Yeah, and anybody who's listening, make sure you listen at that 2010 track. He goes in a little deeper on it and, open up on the music side about that whole little struggles and everything that he goes through. So, I mean, it's good to open up about those things just in case somebody else going through struggle. You don't know who you're helping out that can be found in the future or anything like this. And, a lot of great artists, to kind of unfortunately had, that little stint with almost, dying and everything. We had Lil Wayne, you had Kanye, with the crash and all this stuff. So, I mean, sometimes it's a catalyst to kind of push you, you never realize what you're going to. You have that, some of them that had that experience and everything. So unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. And then on your side with the, what we're saying, like just the mental health struggles and everything. Like, I mean, you never know who by you just continue to speak on it, you're saying like, hey, you said it a couple of times, but you don't know who's going to catch it or when they're going to catch it and who you're going to be helping out in the future. So it kind of, it's very relatable. It can be a relatable song to somebody in the future. So there you go.
Absolutely, man. I plan to always, it's a huge part of my story, you know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to speak on it and, hopefully encourage people that, maybe still in that phase or dealing with that on a regular basis. So, absolutely, man.
Hey, fellas, I feel like it's only right to put this song on. You know what I mean? As much as we're talking about it, and as good as it is, because like again, intro, then the following songs is just kind of it locks you into your story. So I wanted to play a little quick bit of the 2010.
I lost my mama at like 12 years old. Tried to find her in 2010. Doctor said it ain't your time to go. So don't you ever do that shit again. Hey, I lost my mama at like 12 years old. Tried to find her in 2010. Doctor said it ain't your time to go. Don't you ever do that shit again. I'm really too blessed to be giving up on anything. Really too stressed, but winning wars made many kings. I am the one, that's MJ, that's Billie Jean. I am not done and know the grass ain't really green. Hope we see our angels on the day of glory. I really love you, can you say it for me? Closing up a book, never made a story. So I'ma give it all I got to the crowd sing. Wouldn't be a father to my daughters if I've been playing to it started if I.
All right, Lacey. So take me behind the scenes, man. As I'm constructing a project and I'm thinking about where I want to play songs, I'm always thinking about that, right? And I'm sure you think about that too. So, as you're constructing the album, are you thinking about like, damn, I'm going in heavy off the top, or are you trying to balance it out, or are you just like, you know what, this is a dope song and I just want people to know who I am from the jump?
Yeah, so like once you get past the whole concept of like the introduction, obviously need to be something that pulls people in. I'm going through this process really with a couple of my friends, what I'm saying, trying to figure out where everything fits. And the philosophy that we kind of had with it was, even though the music is very personal and, obviously we're rapping on here, the vibes matter. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like you're trying to think of it like you got certain rooms set up and we need to, if we're in a room, we need to make sure that the vibe stays that way inside that room and then transitions out to another place. You know what I mean? So, and this is, I found, because, this mentality is not something I naturally thought about music that way. I got a dude, one of my dogs I work with, his name is Clean, man. You'll hear me shout him out on the project a lot. And Clean is just a dude that has listened to 1 million songs on Spotify. You know what I'm saying? And he really functions with me as more of like as an A&R And even though I'm an unsigned independent artist, as just somebody who just, he just listened to so much music on the spectrum that he can kind of give a lot of solid quality feedback. And so, really when it came to sequencing the album, it's really a lot of fighting between me and him of like, because for me, what I cared about initially was just like, play the end of the song. How does it sound transitioning into the next song? That was it. That's all I cared about.
And that's important too. That's important, but not probably as important as what Clean is
going through the like. You can't go one mood, then switch it, then go back to that same mood and stuff like that. We talk about sequencing a lot, and like Lil Brother is like one of the, like both of them, like when they're sequencing an album, like it's always like perfect. They must did what was it, Luke's album, right? And you can tell
Luke,
how.
Oh my God, Luke's album was incredible.
Yo, the sequencing on that, and just like how good he got from the mixtape Luke to the project Luke, but you could tell it's a lot of hard work. And I want you to keep that thought on the sequencing thing. And I want to kind of go into your team and the accountability thing that I think you posted something recently on one of your reels that was on maybe YouTube or IG. And you were just talking about the accountability of your team and more so of, everybody just really holding you accountable, not only, in real life, but also in the music. How important is having a quality team to tell you, the baby is ugly, so to speak, when the baby is ugly, and also to give you praise when you deserve the praise for whatever you put out?
Man, it's so important. So like from my perspective, right? If you listen to my first project, The Overdose, and then I made an album called 4 Years Forward. So one thing about Clean, it's so funny, man, how this all started with Dilly, the songs. It all started with my dog Clean. People used to compare me a lot to J. Cole. I still get a little bit, but it was a real like, this sound like some Cole. So not only is Clean like a huge music fan, but from a hip hop perspective, he's always preaching this concept of like making a contribution. Like I said, the dude's like an A&R, not on a label. It's crazy. But he was like, so me just being a competitor, what I'm saying? I just kind of stopped going to the type of beats that I was typically on. And one day I ended up rapping on a Dilly beat, and instead of my cadence being, real fast and the rhyme schemes being, kind of just, I don't know, because I was a Cassidy fan and an Eminem fan, and a huge J. Cole fan, there was this like emphasis on like this intricate rhyme schemes and, what I'm saying? And so slowing down the cadence, so I basically did that, and I sent Clean a record, and he was like, yo, this is different. This sounds like Lacey Jackson, you know what I'm saying? So, and then the Forever Loading album just ended up being me in competitive mode, basically trying to recreate that and trying to like get away from the whole like idea of being compared all the time to J. Cole and trying to carve out my line. And what I realized was like when I slowed down, I could put this inflection on my voice that really
this is what we be talking about, man. Go ahead,
You're
man.
hitting all the points. Go ahead, Malfa.
So when I slowed down, I realized like I could do this inflection, and the inflection almost like added a melody element to the music that just was not there at all in the last. So when it comes to the team, what I'm saying? Like I tell people all the time, like, man, if Clean wasn't, making the contribution that he's making when it comes to just, being a critique of good music, and, if he was just, telling me like, what was clear on my last project was like, yo, you can rap. You're really good at rapping. But it was like, like, is this a song I want to play again? You know what I'm saying? Is that all I get after I, can I feel this? Is it so, on that end of just, honestly, just having people around me. Clean has never rapped in his life. It's so crazy. But, just allowing people, I think my superpower has always been, I'm really willing to listen if you got some value to add. You know what I'm saying? And I don't take it. It's no pride involved. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? What I can say is I dropped Forever Loading and IB got 700,000 streams. I never had seen a project do that. I'm also what made me convinced that there was something here, something kind of special was like y'all saying y'all found me on Twitter. You know, Twitter is the Trollville. So when I was putting out songs,
that's what I'm saying. Like if you do what you've been doing, and what I said at the top is if you do what you do, you typically are looked at kind of crazy because if the music is ass, that you're gonna be received that way. But you taking a chance. But I think it's just the confidence you have in the music. Like if they hear this, there's no way they can hate on this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is that your mindset doing that?
That had to grow on me though. Cause initially you just hopping out there, you know what I'm saying? And so, but when I'm in XXL's comments and, Kash is trying to, hit you with the trash can gift off as soon as possible. But then when I hear cats, it got to a point where like, if somebody hated on it, they would get trolled. Like, yo, what are you listening to? Like, and so, I had a video 7.5 was the first one I was really like pushing on there. And that, now has over 1 million views on Twitter just from posting it in the comments. And so many moments where, like I said, this community where it's kind of like natural to just troll somebody. They were so accepting of it. And I was like, wow, this sound not only accomplishes what I want to do with music, which is about talking about my story. And I don't want to have to compromise the messaging at all. But it also is delivering it in a way that is digestible for pretty much, most people that listen to it, even the younger dudes and the younger generation. So, man, all that ties back into, having a great team. I never, even, you got clean with doing the A&R. I can't, we got to talk about Dilly, man. Dilly.
Yeah, let's get to him.
Dilly is making.
This is,
you know what I mean?
I'm 2 projects full of him, right? Like these last 2 projects are.
Everyone is him.
God, yeah, he's like what I would say. What I get from a listener standpoint from Dilly is just like he gives you that soul, but it's minimal to the point where he doesn't do too much to where he's interfering with you and what you're trying to say and your message. You know what I mean? It's not interfering. And again, the melodies, like you mentioned earlier, like just slowing down a little bit is cool. Like, again, I mentioned my brother Numbs, man, like he got the slow flow too, but like the clarity and when you do that slow flow, you got to be spitting too. You know what I mean? Yeah. So every bar has to matter. Everything you saying has to matter. So I think you guys work perfectly together, or it just sounds perfect because the melodies and then his minimalist aspect to how he just gives you just enough soul, but it's not too much of this oversampling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but yeah, man, definitely shout out to Dilly, man.
So, Kash, this sounded very familiar to what we was just talking about a little while ago when we was going down the top 5 indies and stuff like this. So we was mentioning all these things you're talking about, sequencing, the inflection of your voice, your production when you meet somebody, that can kind of be perfect production for you, because if somebody has that stream slow flow, then something got to be added to production to grab everybody's attention. Mm-hmm. Or the artist got to step up and do that. If they're not going to make the inflections with their voice to kind of change it up or have the pauses up in there so you catch a bar or something like that, then it's kind of just like go through. Like you just pass through it and just move on. And some artists are great, but they may be with the wrong production. And everybody's saying like, oh, this is good, this is good, but it's good for a select few. It's not going to open them up to a bigger audience because that sound is for those set of people. But if you can get that perfect producer, a la like we had talked about, like Killer Mike with LP. So when they met up and run the Jews, it's perfect for him. And look what they kind of elevated to. But before then, he was still doing what he does, like rapping wise. It just wasn't that perfect production that kind of just like elevates and throws them up there. So like, yeah, when you can find that producer and the artist, like, and you can link up just perfect, that's good music. That's good music. That's how it's created, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely, man. We gotta get the producers their credit, man. You know what I'm saying?
Got to.
They make it, especially when it's working. A lot of times when it's working, they're making a contribution to the sound that, that can't be neglected. If you take Dilly away from these and it's just me and another producer, we gotta come up with a completely different ecosystem to work. We gotta figure out the chemistry. It's so many different things that go in there. So, I'm always showing Dilly love because, and Dilly was, he was successful and had crazy placements before I started working with him. This is a dude that's been working, when it comes to for making beats for years. And so, yeah, man, shout out to Dilly, man.
How'd you guys meet up?
Being consistent. So what happened was, like I said, I ended up, I just was going through YouTube looking for beats. I ended up on his page. I made one song. Then I I might hit a 3-month stretch where I was just making, all the songs on Forever Loading. Literally, that's probably in 3 months. It was like 17. And there's really more than that. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up rapping on all of them. And I just emailed him the album. I was like, and then he was blown away by it. And, so it went from just like a relationship that we had just from, me purchasing his beats to, us exchanging contact information and, and developing a friendship. So now, I'm saying he'll shoot me something that he's working on and, it's just a little bit more personal now. But, what's also dope about Dilly too, that sold me on it was that he was creating a lot of his own samples. So, he'd go
that's money in the bank right there. You don't run the risk.
I never got to worry about the
sample.
So that was huge.
Like that. Yeah,
exactly.
That's fire. That's fire, man. I'm glad you guys met up because, again, man, I think, like I said, Forever Loading, right? Get that right this time. Forever Loading was the one that drew me into where I'm like, yo, this soundscape really, I don't know, man. Like it's I think not comparing to Jay-Z or nothing crazy like that, but I just remember like listening to, like what more can I like y'all would have like moments in Forever Loading to where I was like, okay, I see the vision there. You know what I mean? Because y'all creating, you come in light and then it's like a momentous occasion and then you guys kind of just ease us out. The album kind of similar to like a movie arc, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's what really kind of drew me in. And then the videos and everything that you kind of did going along with it and the marketing, the grassroots marketing, really, because, you know what I mean? Everybody's independent, man, and you got to find your own niche, so to speak. So I think you guys did really well with that, man. So, yeah.
Thank you, bro.
For sure. But let's get into one of the songs that me and Prez collectively said, yeah, we got to discuss this. And we always like to joke and stuff like that, man. Prime and Irvin. Prez, talk to us a little bit about Prime and Irvin, man.
All right. So want to know, was you a Cowboys fan? Because Prime and Irvin,
So I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm definitely a Prime and Irvin fan. You know what I'm saying? I respect greatness. You know what I'm saying? So
well, okay. That was gonna be my next thing. I'll come on, shoot one at you real quick. So why does MJ get the whole like legend on the side for just the basketball being good on both sides? But Prime, he was good on both sides on this, and you kind of threw Irvin up in there. So it was just like, well, what was the reason behind that? That's why, it was the first thing. Just being a sports fan as well just got me up. Like, Prime played both sides. You could have just said MJ and Prime, but it kind of, it's the flow. I know that's what it's got to be.
It's all the flow because it was Lacey Jackson at first, and I was like, nah, it was just trying to figure out what, how do I tie it all together? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Initially, that song, probably like a week before it came out, instead of saying, the Michael Jordan, I was saying my name, and I was just trying to just tie it all together, man. And Michael Jordan, obviously, this guy, he did it all. So
Yeah, but okay, so a little bit deeper on the song, you like saying like, hey, it's you realize where you're at and how you're doing and producing music and are making music and everything. So everybody should be aware of the greatness that you're kind of doing right now. So definitely liked it all that and everything on there. So I I'm joking about the Prime and Irvin, but I mean, I love that little mixture up there. It's going to get people to listen. It was catchy. That's kind of how you want to get people in there too. So a debate could happen afterwards. But you mentioned Scotty up in here, Scottie Pippen and stuff too. So so it was good.
All right, man. Let's get into that Prime and Irvin, man. Let's get into that Prime and Irvin.
Can't be waiting for these niggas to give you your flowers, dog. Facts. Real recognized. Believe that shit yourself. Yeah, they got it bumping. Imagine being him, but you wait for niggas to tell you that. I press record and I promise I'm about to sell you crack. I see the heart in the people that's always swinging with me. I see the fear in the people that say they held you back. Fuck the Giants, it's this David versus Goliath, nigga. Life a bitch and it's the pressure I'm applying with her. It's like you waiting for your flowers cause you did the hours. She wanna show us that we cold until we dying with her. Imagine me begging for power. I got her wetter than a sweat on my fat nigga towel. And you owe me for the sound, read the last of the vowels. Always drop a fucking smash you to say that you bout to. Real doubtful. Realer than them niggas that you run your mouth to. Realer than these labels when they say they found you. Show the boy a rapper that they betted on. And I'ma show your ass a nigga that he don't amount to. Yeah. I'm a star on both sides of the ball. Michael Jordan mixed with Prime and Irvin. I'm just a real nigga, real hitter. They don't deserve him. I'm a star on both sides of the ball. Michael Jordan mixed with Prime and Irvin. I'm just a real hitter, real nigga. They fire all your A&Rs.
All right, man.
How the hell they didn't call a nigga? Oh
yeah, man. Yeah, he talking real confident on there, man. That's kind of what I want to get into. Like, we earlier in the pod we talk about, going from depression to, the opening lines to this song. Imagine being him and waiting for people to tell you that. To take us there to where you get from that point in life and getting into the music and getting even more confident to being your own favorite. You know what I mean? Tell us about that evolution.
Yeah, so I think, the most important part of, Prime and Irvin is a song where I'm basically giving myself my flowers, you know what I'm saying? And there was a point in my life where I just kind of had transitioned away from, waiting for external validation from people or your peers or, your family and internalizing it. And, for me, my criteria is as long as I'm doing the work that, the greats are doing to get to the outcomes we idolize, then I'm going to celebrate it now. You know what I mean? So for Prime and Irvin, it's like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm putting the music out consistently. I'm marketing it. I'm investing in my craft. I'm just getting better. And so, that opening line, imagine being him, but you wait for niggas to tell you that. It's just like, embrace him. Like, what are we waiting for? You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's like, especially when I was used to struggle mentally, it's like, if you put all of your faith in the external validation of other people, then you're a slave to that. You know what I'm saying? And you just never know what's going to happen. And so for me, it's just like, I want to be able to hold that. I want to be able to celebrate today. It's also like with the, even when it's not other people, if it's like a goal, as rappers, we got all kinds of stuff we want to accomplish. And, as I'm sure you guys as producers have stuff that you want to accomplish. And I don't know, I want something to be able to celebrate on a daily basis, especially I wanted to tie it in with loading. Like I want to be able to celebrate today. And so that was really the whole point of the album. It's like, what do I got to wait for? You know what I'm saying? Like, once I realized like once I acknowledge that the work that we're doing actually is adding value and making a contribution, I know I'm gonna do it consistently for the next however many years. You know, let's celebrate now. And I think that changes the way that for me personally, how I saw myself. And I think that people in general, especially if you're struggling with, you know, you gotta have some swag. I mean, you gotta give yourself your flowers, man. Like, you gotta talk your talk a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not about and I used to always think it was like a lack of humility if you talk,
if you call yourself the best and all that. But like everybody does that. Like it's part of the rapper DNA. Like you have to talk your shit. Like the reality is, everybody may not say you the man or whatever the case may be, but if you rap like you done, then we definitely ain't listening anyway. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I gotta hear you talking like you the guy, or else honestly, why should I listen to you if you ain't talking like you one of the best, or if you ain't striving to be one of the best? Like this is part of hip hop. This is a part of rap. Like, you know what I mean? Absolutely. And that competitive spirit came out through and through, man. I want to ask you, like, we talked about some of your influences, but we didn't really specifically get into some of the rappers that you grew up listening to. So, I mean, you can give us the safe list, or you can give us the Lacey list. Who are some of your? We'll go with 5. Who are some of your just 5 artists that were pivotal in your coming up?
So, like, okay, so the main thing is, like, when I was coming up, man, we wasn't even really allowed to listen to a lot of rap until my mom passed away. So I came up on a lot of gospel, which is why I love this like process of like the inflection in the voice, because I always wanted to make music that could have that could create some type of feeling and that soulfulness. Or like, some of my favorite artists when I was coming up was like Smokey Norfolk and Yolanda Adams.
Okay,
and,
all right.
It wasn't necessarily like rap, you know what I'm saying now. And even when we started listening to rap, it was like I was a casual, man. I'm listening to the stuff on the radio.
Yeah.
I think the first like album that I heard or like projects was like I Can't Feel My Face with Lil Wayne. I used to always be like behind the, in the conversation, like, yo, Carter, Kash be talking about, I can't wait to this. And I'm like, yeah, I ain't even heard the Carter 2 or Carter, whatever. I was way behind by the time it came to that. But some of my favorite rap albums, and in that early introduction, 50 Cent is like, man, like, I fight for 50 a lot for the, I feel like 50
you got a
got
best
one
friend
of the greatest
in Prez for sure. You got a best friend in Prez. Like, yeah, that whole 50 run was incredible, especially first few albums.
Don't get enough credit.
No, he don't. Even to the part where people are gonna say kind of like where he was falling off when he was going up against Kanye. That whole little marketing for that, you know what I mean? You got to give that its praises, and that's why I kind of feel like he transitioned into the business part. But go ahead.
Nah, I'm with you, man. Listen, I feel like 50 might have got one of the greatest freshman albums of all time, for real. He came out the water hot. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I agree. I agree. I'll never not agree when you put a New Yorker in there and then you top anything. So I'll never not agree, man. Who else you got?
So aside from 50, Cassidy early, a lot of Cassidy. Like I said, man, I used to think he was the GOAT. And then, I think for me, I started believing I could be a rapper because of Cole. J. Cole was like, huge influence because... Yeah, he just like, I'm like, yo, this dude's rapping about going to college. Like, what are we, like,
right.
This is just different.
Make it your regular shit cool. Shit you should be doing. Yeah.
Exactly. I remember going into the, what was that 50 movie? Was it Get Rich or Die Trying? Was that the name of the movie?
Yeah, that was the name of the movie. Yeah.
So I remember going into the movie, coming out mean mugging niggas, like, because I think I need to be, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like what's going on? You know what I mean? So when Cole came out, I was like, nah, bro, you good. That ain't you. You know what I'm saying? We just, this is how we can do this. And obviously, Kanye did that before, prior, you know what I'm saying? A little bit more sauce and swag with it. But Cole, getting into Cole's projects. And then I'm gonna say, like, really Cole's music ended up dominating so much of, my listening experience after I got a hold of him that, everything else pretty much became once again like a casual listen because I was on the warm up and all those projects all the time. You know what I mean? So between 50, Cassidy, Wayne, no ceilings, Wayne, you know what I'm saying? That was spectacular. And obviously Drake coming in, you know what I'm saying, completely changing everything. You cannot, it's obvious the impact that Drake has had.
I got in trouble with the wife the other day because I was just like, man, y'all kids, y'all old enough now. We about to listen to some Wayne. Y'all about to understand real rap.
Oh, man. yeah, man. My kids listen to everything, man. I mean, I don't really want to promote
no filters. That
no filter. No, my kids got no filter. They all various ages. Like my 16-year-old, like he's putting me on to people. So that kind of leads me like to my next question. Like I have a lot of guilty pleasure listens to where people would typically, they be, oh man, Cash, you just rapidy rap. That's all you, they would think that, you know what I mean? But that's not really all I'm into. I would probably enjoy R&B more so than a lot of rap nowadays, just to balance out everything. But as far as rappers, man, like who are some of your guilty listens? I'll open up first. One of my favorite guys is Wiz Khalifa. Wiz Khalifa, he's never going to be in anybody's top 10. I just love Kush and Orange Juice. I love the last project he put out with, help me out, Prez, with Big Crit and Smoke.
Yeah. Full court something?
Full court press. Full court press.
Spot too.
I just love anything Wiz does, man. He just, time and place for me, and Cabin Fever and all that stuff. So you have any people that they typically wouldn't be like, oh shit, Lacey listens to this too? You know what I mean? You hit us with Yolanda Adams, so that threw me for a loop. So who else you got?
Yeah. Man, I mean, so on the gospel tip, Forever Jones is still like, is somebody I rock with heavy. On the rap tip, Moneybagg Yo probably is something that people wouldn't expect me to rock with. But, from song structure to swag, delivery, that's another thing I wanted to try to add to my game, was just like the effortlessness of, your rhyme scheme, where it don't sound like you trying hard. Like you just sound like you belong here on this beat. You know what I mean? And so Moneybagg Yo is definitely one of the guys that I think people are surprised that I listen to a lot, but yeah, I gotta go with Bag.
Okay. Same with me for ESTG. Prez, you care to share about your guilty pleasure?
I talk about mine all the time because I ain't scared to tell like where I'm listening to and what when I'm to back up my decisions and like why I come say an artist, they not doing enough to grab me. Mystical, that's kind of like the one I've like grew up and I forced that down.
Man.
I kind of forced. Anytime you ride with me back in the day, man, we was like, well, we bumped this.
Yeah,
we went through his troubles in life, and I kind of see why some people they kind of. But hey, that was like that right there. The energy that he just brings to a track and stuff like that. So when you got to realize that's kind of how like what I expect from artists to bring a little bit of energy to it. So when you have the too much of a slow and nothing else is changing, man, like this is where I came from. This is what I want to hear. So like if that's a big part of what's missing. And then right now it's Kodak. I listen to a lot of Kodak Black.
Okay.
So So
you had him as your top 3 rap album, right? People, y'all go check that out. He had Kodak as in his top 3 rap album. So he made, he lived what he talk about, man. He lived what he talk about. Lacey, one last question before we get you out of here, man. We in the dog days of summer. There's no NBA basketball going on. We got summer league basketball. We got baseball. I mean, we all like baseball, but it's not one of the more popular sports, and football, man. You rock a lot of old Ohio State stuff, and you rep them, man. So what are you expecting from their upcoming season, man, record wise?
From Ohio State?
Yeah.
As Buckeye fans, man, we really only shooting for the highest accolade possible, which is that national championship, man. So, obviously, so like my best friend played for Ohio State. His name is Jamie Wood. And, I've been rocking with Ohio State since I was a baby. But ain't many years where they not really, in the last 20 years that they ain't really having some success, bro. So, that's what I'm rocking with, man. I'm hoping that we can get a national championship. I know it's kind of been, kind of strange and, inconsistent last couple of years. But, I'm hoping that we can get back on top and get back to the dominance that we had before. You know what I'm saying? So.
Sure, for sure.
Who your college teams?
Me, man, I'm a fair weather college fan, so you don't really want to ask me. Whoever winning, that's my team.
Warrior.
Yeah. He's Auburn. Yeah, Auburn.
Okay, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So we have our little name, but we got to ship. We got a couple.
That was Cam Newton era, man. Come on.
Hey, whatever. I will get the hat right now. Still got it. Still working like it just happened yesterday.
Do you get into the debate of like SEC versus Big Ten and all that? Do you care about
man.
that?
So, man, if you want to really go in that direction, like what in the world, the Pac-12 or Pac-10 now, whatever they're gonna be called, like after this, with USC kind of moving over, what's going on with the Big Ten, now the Big 12, I guess that's kind of everybody kind of going over there. So, and then the teams that's coming, that they saying are coming to the SEC, you know what I mean? Like, it's already bad enough right now what we got with the name, image, and likeness, the NILs that's kind of going on with Nick Saban and Texas, and they're going to still overcruit. I'm excited to see how that's going to affect the actual play on the field, with them able to get all these players and stuff now where they start being a lot more of a challenger versus just putting good talent into the NFL or talented players getting drafted early. Because, some of those players didn't turn out so well. Johnny Football and everything. That didn't turn out so hot. But even with Ohio State, I got high hopes for them, for the players they put in the NFL. But, y'all record in the NFL over the past couple of years, some of the urban Urban Meyer, kind of messing up over there. Like I said, we talked earlier, I was saying Damon Arnett, man, that's don't want to hear that name no more on the Raiders. But y'all had those receivers that it came out this year. So excited to see how they do in it translate over in the NFL. So, but as far as like we said in college, I'm excited to see how this name is really going to take effect after how many people was in the transfer portal and where everybody's going to end up with the new basically divisions, the SEC, the restructure, everything. Yeah, I
think there's 2 SEC teams coming to the Big Ten too. I can't remember which ones it was, but I know there was 2. I think USC was one of them. No, they come from the SEC.
They come from Pac. That's what I was saying. The Pac-12 turned into the Pac-10.
Okay. Oh yeah. So SEC. Who was the other one that's leaving?
Was it UCLA?
I think it was UCLA.
Yeah. So that would be interesting, man. Look, we need to mix it up, man. Are you cool with like the playoff structure as it is right now, and the ranking and just letting it play out that way?
Yeah, you know what? After living through all this stuff and how the different changes, we starting to realize the BCS really wasn't that wrong. Like it was starting to turn into the same thing. These same teams getting up there. We have hopes that these teams that ain't really as powerhouse as like Alabama and stuff like that. You want them to get in there, but it's hard going up against those guys. And like the challenge is when the SEC beating up each other like that. Yeah, that you may look up and beat one of them, but it's very doubtful that you're going to beat 2 of those big powerhouses up in there. So, like, what we have in the NCAA, I don't think it's not going to happen in the football side. That's what I'm saying. On the basketball side, I don't see it's going to happen.
That's what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, you have 1 or 2 good players, like they can literally run down on another team and win football. Nah, if you got them dogs, like these guys get out of the SEC and, we've tried it. We've tried to see it. We tried to see Oregon. We tried to see a lot of other Pac-12 teams come in and they'll get in there. Oklahoma, like time and time again, is show and prove that, hey man, if you're not in the big or on the SEC, you're probably not winning a national championship. Like it just is what it is, man. Like you can be in the top 6 and get in the playoff, and that does wonders for your, alumni and making money.
We ain't gotta hide it no more. They was paying these people. Like, I paid this guy $1 million. So at the end of the day, if y'all come up and be one of these other SEC teams, I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm deducting your pay. I'm deducting your pay. You ain't getting that little envelope this week if we don't go out there and win this game. Now, those guys are playing for something. They playing for that check, man. So that's a big difference in what the other guys just playing for that heart. Like, oh, no, man, I got to feed my kids, man. So
I feel it, man.
That's a big part of it. And it's rare that you're going to get a Cam Newton, one person that can just go in there and just totally dominate and, get you a championship. Him, I would must give up to Tim Tebow, you know what I mean? Even though he had a lot of talent around him. But, I mean, the leadership that he kind of brought.
Yeah, the leadership in college it speaks volumes. But yeah, man, I think y'all be right there where y'all need to be. Ohio State, I don't think y'all missed the college playoff in quite some time, man, to be honest with you. So y'all will be right there, just really how the cookie crumbles, man, and who in the SEC, not Alabama, decides to rise in the rankings. Because you'll have one other team out of the SEC that's really somebody, and then Ohio State, and then it's pretty much
is SEC too, right?
Yeah. So, ACC, right? ACC. So, but yeah, you'll have those 4 teams, and then it's like everybody else will kind of randomly fit in. But I'm looking forward to watching football at a decent hour now that I'm back in the States and not in Germany anymore, not living there. So I'm looking forward to catching up and seeing who my next team is going to be, as a fair weather fan. I get into it, Lacey. I buy gear and everything. You know what I mean? I dive deep in. I dive deep into it, man. I rock the championship T-shirt and everything, man. I have no shame. No shame whatsoever.
So do you have an NFL team?
Yeah, Eagles, man. Eagles for sure.
Eagles,
and, Eagles and Knicks basketball as far as NBA goes, and Syracuse for college basketball. Like, let's be real. New York City don't have. I'm from New York, so we don't have no football. Nothing. Yeah. You can't really get into that. Rutgers. Who else you got? Penn State. I wouldn't do it. But man, Lacey, man, we appreciate you coming on, man. Keep doing the good work, man, and making, as you say, your contribution to hip hop, man, is really dope, man. We love to see the grind, love to see the evolution, and wherever you're gonna land next, we know it'll be on your feet and doing great things, man. You want to take us out with a few words before we let you roll?
No, I just want to say thank y'all for having me on, man. I know you hit me up on the last album I'm trying to get in. I'm glad we can, work it out. And I was checking out an interview. I think it's the Big Three. They had an album called The Big Three. I was checking that out earlier today, man. So what y'all do is very dope, man. And thank you just for having me on here, bro. Hopefully we can get some more interviews in the future too.
For sure. Well,
drop where they can find you.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram at I am Lacey Jackson. And you can, find all my music just by putting Lacey Jackson into, wherever you listen to music. My new album, Average Only to You, is out now. Go check that out. And man, appreciate y'all for having me.
No doubt. Peace to you, man. This is episode 169. I'm Kash, and that guy right below me is
Prez.
All right, Lacey Jackson. Average Only to You, man. We out.
No complaining about this shit. Yesterday's grind was as easy as it gets. Thought the goal was getting rich. So why you acting like you used to say I want it? I ain't really want it. For 120 pounds, but I kept it 100. Till you take a risk, you ain't never stunning. I take a lot of